Hi everyone, my name is Elvin and today we're going to create this image while using Blender and Vray. This is a relatively simple project, perfect for studying lighting and post-production with Vray. Vray offers a fantastic toolkit including Vray Frame Buffer, which is almost like a separate application that allows you to adjust and fine-tune the final render without going to post-production software. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we start, we need to download and install Vray for Blender. Head over to Google and write Vray for Blender. Click on chaos.com, and once you open it, you will need to create an account on their website. They offer 30 days of access, and I already have an account on their website, so I don't need to go through the old registration process. Let's click on it, and let's press manage your licenses. Click on the download button and choose the Vray version for your Blender. I'm using 4.5, so this is the version I need. Click on download, and once you download the file, you can proceed with the installation. The installation process is very straightforward. Click on these boxes and click the install button. So I already installed it, so I will not do it again. Now we should open Blender, and up here click on the preferences button. Add-ons, scroll down, and you should see Vray for Blender. Click on it, close this window, and check if the Vray appeared in the render properties. Vray has two render engines, one for CPU and one for GPU. For this tutorial, I'll be using the CPU version because from my experience it's more stable and predictable. Next, we've got here this little icon. Click on it. It should open Vray Frame Buffer. If it starts, then Vray is working. If not, there might be an issue with the license manager. I will not dive too deep into the render settings, but two important options are the max render time and noise limit. I prefer the max render time because it's more convenient. For test rendering, I'm using 1 minute. For the final image, maybe 15-20 minutes, depending on your hardware. Next, you need to go to my Patreon page and find the free assets I've provided for you. Click on it and download the VN Cosmetics free bundle. You can find the link below in the description. Once you download the file, open it, and it should look like this. You'll find 4 cylindrical objects. I already applied some basic materials to them, adding a bit of reflections and translucency. I've came from Cinema 4D, so I've gonna organize the objects in a familiar way. Each product has an empty, and the rest of the objects are linked to this empty. Let's save the file. Next, let's start with a camera. But before creating a camera, we have to reset the cursor location. Shift S, cursor to world origin. So the new objects will be created in the location of our cursor. Over here, we've got Vray drop-down menu. There are some useful tools like converting material. Right now we will not need them, but you can create cameras, lights. So let's go ahead and create Vray camera. By default, the camera is looking somewhere. So we might need to reset its location and rotation to 0. Press N, items, 0, 0. Next, let's open another window for the camera. And start to adjust our camera. Move the camera back. And rotate to reveal the top part of our cosmetic bundle. We also need to change the focal length from 50 to 120. (120) will make our image look more professional. Okay. Now we see the top part of our objects. Next, let's create a plane to serve as our studio environment. Shift A, plane, and let's extrude this edge. Right click, extrude edge, Z. We need to add bevel to this edge, and we can definitely add this bevel in our edit mode, but I prefer using a bevel modifier. This way it's more procedural and easier to adjust as needed. Right click, shade auto smooth. Now let's apply a white material to our studio plane. Here, Vray node editor, press on new. Once that's done, let's go ahead and kick off the render. Before going any further, let's organize our scene. Let's add a couple of collections. Environment. I can just name it as ENV. That's enough. Okay, click on lights collection and let's save our scene just by pressing Save Incremental. For the lighting, we will use three main light sources. The main one will be a V-Ray direct light to mimic sunlight and create defined shadows. Over here, lights, V-Ray direct light. The other two lights are more subtle. One will illuminate the top part of our objects, and the other will be placed on the right side to provide some backlight. Let's start with the top light. V-Ray rectangle light, and rename it. Let's adjust the location of the top light. We don't need that big object. And make sure to make all the lights invisible. I'm not sure why it's not turned on by default, but let's make sure to activate it every time. Now let's add the backlight. We will use another very rectangular light. Let's rename it. V-Ray rectangular lights provide softer shadows and create more softer results. That's why it's perfect for the backlight. Let's kick off the render and check the results. Looks great. Let's save the scene. Save incremental. Let's change the direction of our direct light. We need this direct light to mimic sunlight shadows. And let's see how it looks. It looks great. And my only concern is this soft shadows from backlight and top light. We should remove the environment plane, studio plane, from backlight and the top light. To remove it, down here we've got include and exclude options, and let's include our cosmetic bundle objects only. So our backlight and the top light will illuminate only our objects, not the environment. Now it looks great. The image feels a bit gray and dark right now. To fix this, we can increase the overall brightness on the camera. Let's select our camera, move it into our cameras collection. Down here, we've got F number and film speed. Let's lower the F number to 4. You can increase the film speed as well, but I'm going to use F number. Now it looks okay, but it's a bit too much of brightness. We might check top light and backlight intensity and decrease the intensity to 15. Now it looks better, but we're not seeing enough of reflections on the front of our objects. We can still see a very good reflection from the backlight, but to emphasize the depth of the cylindrical objects, let's add a frontal reflection. There are a couple of ways to fix this. We could adjust the material or add another light source, but that will add extra work. So let's skip that for now. Instead, we can tweak the Vray direct light. Let's select direct light. Unfortunately, we've got a speckle contribution option here. Let's increase it to 10. And you will immediately see the difference in the reflections of our objects. Let's save it. After that, we need individual backlights for our 50 milligram cream bottle and the 30 milligram serum bottle, because the main backlight is blocked by this object. To do this, let's select our backlight, Shift D, and duplicate our backlight twice and rename it 30 serum and 50 cream bottle. Now let's remove the unwanted objects from the include and exclude options. Down here, let's leave only 50 milligram cream bottle and remove the rest. And here let's keep the 30 milligram serum bottle and remove the rest. Now let's open the Vray frame buffer and fine-tune the final image. Press on interactive render and switch our camera view. We immediately see the difference between our viewport rendering and Vray frame buffer. I don't know why this is happening. However, you should always stick with Vray frame buffer for the final image and adjustment. Let's remove these unwanted settings I did earlier and start everything from scratch. We can turn on the noiser and the background. And to make the background white, we should click on our studio plane, scroll down and turn on matte surface, as well as shadows, affect alpha, and set this value to -1. The shadows a bit too bright. To make it darker, we should set the GI amount to 0.5. And one more thing you might want to change, the shadows are a bit too sharp. To soften them, let's select direct light and in the properties section, scroll down. We've got shadow radius here, so let's set it for 2 or maybe 3. Let's change the direction of our direct light too. Like this. Let's compare our render with the reference image. I think we should lower the intensity of this main backlight and move the additional backlight and adjust the location of these backlights. I also don't feel the frontal reflections, probably because of the direction of our direct light. As you see, the shadows a bit different. So let's manipulate the direction first. Let's turn the noiser. Press on update, and now it looks much better. Next, we have to lower backlight intensity. The value of 10 should be enough. And let's move these two backlights a little back and increase their intensity. Let's turn on the noiser, update, and one more thing, we have to move our camera a little backward. Like this. And let's add our curves. Over here on this plus icon, press on it, curves, and let's select our Cryptomate mask down here. Once you select it, you can pick the bottles right from the frame buffer menu. And let's adjust our bottle's brightness. But before to adding Cryptomate mask, make sure turn it on the Cryptomate. You have to scroll down to View Layer, Mate, and you should find Cryptomate here. Click on it, and then you should have it. Let's add another curves. Press on Cryptomate mask, and let's pick our labels. Now we can adjust and lighten up them. I think it looks great, and that's it for now. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Bye bye.